morning, folks. So tonight I'm going to be tying a variation on the blushing buzzer. Instead of the usual black thread body, I've got a stripped quill on mine, and I love how the wee fly looks. So this is just 8/0 thread, and it's in black. And we're going to run that down this hook. This is a size 12 grub hook. I like the lightweight grub hooks for this fly because the body's going to have quite a bit of epoxy resin on it, and this just helps keep it up just a bit. So we're going to come around the bend of the hook, and before we come too far around, we want to tie in one of our stripped quills. Now this quill's dyed orange. You could use naturals, olives, whatever colour you think. So you come quite far around with this wee fly, and then you want to bring your thread back up. I'm sure you'll notice there my thread's almost turning white, and I have it very, very heavily waxed, and that's just to help with gripping onto this wee quill. So once I get up to the where the hook point is, which is there, we're going to come back down halfway and then back up again. Our thorax is going to start just in front of this hook point, so we can leave our thread there for now. Get my hackle pliers onto this quill. Now I find it a lot easier to wind quills with my fingers, because this happens when I'm using the pliers. It just snaps off, so you can just run the thread back down and tie it in again. Now this won't affect the fly too much that we've got an extra layer of thread, but what I will do is come back up and just put an extra bit on just before the thorax, so it keeps the taper in the body good. And this time I'm going to wind it by hand instead of them pliers. So with each turn, I'm setting my finger on top of the quill, pushing it round, and then grabbing it on the underside. And then we're going to lift it up again and put our finger on. And if you've always got contact with the quill, it'll not ping off on you. So there's a nice black line on these quills, and I'm trying to keep that nice and even as I'm coming up the body. And once I get round the bend and come back up onto the straight part of the hook, I'm going to start opening them up slightly. It will become easier because the quill's getting thicker and thicker as we go up. So you want to come just past where the thorax starts. So that's good there. We come in and lift our thread out over the hook. Just 2 turns will hold it, and come back down to where the point of the hook starts. And snip this off. And we're going to whip finish at this. Just a 2-turn whip finish just to hold it. Now, I've got a very, very thin UV resin here, and I'm going to give the body a coat of this. I like the thin UV resin. I feel like it's easier to work with. Might take a wee bit longer, but I feel I can get the body smoother with the thin stuff. So sorry, whenever I turn my vise upside down to get the underside of the hook, you can't really see, but I'm not sure how else to set my camera up. If anyone's got any suggestions, I'm all ears. I'm currently filming off my phone, so I think it's turning out quite good for just being a phone camera. Once you get a good even coat on the body, make sure you've got a small touch of it on the hook shank at the back of the hook here, because if there's ever going to be water get in, that's most likely where it's going to come in. And the water will make your resin turn white. So Once we get a good base of resin down, we're going to set that with a torch. You want to make sure this is well set, because we're going to be coming in with peacock curl and stuff, and we don't want to get in, we don't want the body being tacky. I'm just checking the focus. So now that we've got that body coated, we're going to come in with our thread and run it down to where the hook point is. I've got number 7, number 7 globe right here, and there's 4 strands here, and I've put a small touch of wax on it. So you want to get each end and make sure they're all the same length. If you lick your finger and thumb and put a small bit on that, it stops it splaying out on you. You want to tie this in the full length of the thorax. First one's going in on your side. Just 2 turns. And wet my finger and thumb again. And wet the other end. Make sure they're the same length. I'm going to tie this on my side now. That's also tied in the full length. Now I'm going to work my thread up, slowly covering the butt ends. Right, I'm going to come in with some wax again. And I'm going to get some peacock curl. This is natural peacock curl, but you can get dyed, which is lovely too. So you want 3 good strands of peacock curl. And I always find the shortest one out of the 3 and snip them all an inch shorter than that. I like to take it at least an inch off each peacock curl because it's very brittle at the tips. I'm going to tie that in. And we want to bring our peacock curl right to where that globe right's tied in. So before I wind this up, I'm going to come in with a touch of super glue. So 3 or 4 turns should be enough. 2 turns over it, 2 turns in front. And snip that off. Now this is what I learned from TV McPhail, is when you tie this in like this, you pull it forward, and we just lift our thread up and over again. Just check if you like where everything's sitting, and then tighten up. Now we're going to snip this off, and there's going to be some orange showing just in front of the thread wraps. I'll color that in black with a marker. Now I've got a Ewing hen neck here. Pick the feather on, or get the tip, and hold the tip in your finger and thumb, and draw everything back. And that gives you this tie-in point. So again, we'll come in with some wax on our thread. 2 turns, fold the tip back. Find that tip in there again. Snip it out. So you can hackle this fly as much as you want or as little as you want. I go for 2 to 3 turns. Looks just about right to me. There's 1 turn in. That's the second turn. We're 2.5 turns. I'm going to sweep everything going forward of the eye back, and we're tying in that stalk so it's folded over. Two or three turn whip finish. Snip that off. Now, for beginners, I wouldn't be going breaking this off, because if you haven't tied it in right, you'll break your feather. So just come in, just open your scissors up the tiniest amount, put the stalk in between, and push the scissors forward. Don't close them. And the only thing that will be cut is whatever you're holding tension on. So I'm going to come in with a touch of UV resin on this head. I'm just drawing everything back, and a touch on this thread wraps. And then stick the wee needle through the eye, and we'll set that. And that's the wee fly finished. You can see them cheeks come to life when the torch hits it. That's the wee fly finished. I like how that's turned out with the quill body. And I'm going to do some naturals and some olives as well. And I'm going to give them a swim and see how the fish like them. But thank you for watching, everyone. And if there's any flies you'd like to see, just send me a message and we'll see what we can do.